Today we've got a special guest coming to share with us just for a few minutes this morning, David and Mary Ashcraft. We keep talking about our lay renewal weekend, and we say there's about 30 to 35 lay people from all over the state of North Carolina that are going to be coming to work with us that weekend. So you want to be here to get to meet some of these people. David has come today just to share a little bit of his testimony of what lay renewal has meant to him. I know you've got a lot of questions. Maybe today he can answer some of those. But we're glad that he's here. So David, if you would, come and share a few minutes of testimony this morning. God bless you. Oh, and by the way, Greg, you might like this. He does some work with NC State. All right.
That's the only reason I wore a tie today, was so I could wear my red and white tie for NC State. 6 weeks ago today, my wife and I were blessed to visit in Hyde Park Baptist Church in Austin, Texas. Much larger church than this, has a large choir orchestra. 4 weeks ago today, I was in Sălcăhud, Romania, dressed much different than I am today. I had on 2 layers of bottoms and about 4 layers of top. Outside, the temperature was 15 degrees. Inside, it was 60. And today we're here. So as Christians, we can worship God anywhere in the world that we want to. It's going to be different, but we're essentially all the same people worshiping the same God. As I notice this church here, as I'm here this morning, I notice I'm in the minority with a tie. So 3 weeks from today when I am back, you won't see a tie. And I noticed that you've got a man playing the piano, and I like that. I played the piano in my younger days and really enjoyed it, and I think we men have a different touch than the women do. No offense, but we men just have a little bit different touch. My wife gets up early in the morning. She reads the paper, drinks a cup of coffee, and I don't know if you've got a wife like that or not, but you better not talk to her before she's finished that cup of coffee. So yesterday she was reading, and in the paper in Raleigh, it says, Weekend of Renewal. Is it a one-time event or the beginning of a lifetime journey? I thought, wow, they're advertising the renewal coming up in Dudley shows, and they're advertising it down here because I know you've been doing a lot of advertising, but this happened to be a secular event. So the world has taken some of what we're doing and talking about renewal, renewing our hearts. There, it was focused on something different. It was a real estate sale. But focused on something different. We're looking for something in our hearts. Billy Graham says that Christianity is more than a one-time experience. It is a lifelong journey. The Christian polling group, Barna, B-A-R-N-A, you may have heard of them, is constantly taking polls of various kinds of Christians, self-identified Christians. In a recent poll they took, 80% of Christians said there must be more to life than this. I'm missing something, which says that 20% were on that lifelong journey. The 80% were not. Up until about 7 years ago, I would have been with that 80%. I was saved at the age of 9, grew up in a small Baptist church that emphasized evangelism, not discipleship, and not Christian growth. As I grew up, I graduated from NC State, moved to Texas, became head of a company. The world would have said I am very successful. I was a deacon in the church, Sunday school teacher, sometimes played the piano, member of a board of a local hospital, had a beautiful wife, 3 kids, did well in school, had it made. But I was a fake. I was a fraud. I was doing all of that to please me, not to please God. At the age of 50, life fell apart because God had been working, and he starts with a little switch. Then it's a little bit bigger switch. Then it's a 2x4. And at the age of 50, lost my job, came home, and even though they didn't say it, my wife and kids said, "Who are you? You've been giving all your time to work. not to us. I thought I was praying, but the prayers weren't getting above the ceiling because I was so conceited, so arrogant. In a weekend renewal like you all are going to have in 3 weeks, some people came to our church and they talked about there is a walk, there is a Christian walk. And as you go through your life, you become more and more like Jesus. And I said, what in the world are those guys talking about? That weekend changed my life. Since that time, and at that time, at the age of 60, I was a baby Christian, so a babe. So from a Christian perspective, I'm 7 years old. Well, no, I'm 69. I'm 9 years old. Woo. I am 9 years old today as a Christian. But the walk is exciting. What God enables us to do when we simply turn loose and let Him guide. As I mentioned, I just got back from Romania. We went over there for a renewal, just like you're going to have here. There were 6 people saved in one of those nights. 9 people walked the aisle confessing sins that were not prompted by the preacher. The Holy Spirit moved in that case. So the weekend that's coming up in 3 weeks, some of you are probably saying, I don't care anything about that. It's just a weekend revival. But I encourage you, I challenge you, come be a part of it. See what the Holy Spirit says in your life. The people that are here will be people just like you. I know some of them I probably won't know because it's a different group that gets together every time. There'll be some testimonies of people talking about what God has done in their lives. There'll be some singing and then sharing. But the important part is that as you do that, as you're preparing yourself, the Holy Spirit will begin to speak. I already see that your church is doing many things. You're an active church, and I applaud you for that. So as you begin this church renewal journey, this is the first weekend. The second weekend talks about spiritual gifts. There's a third weekend that has another theme, and there are 5 different weekends that a church can go through. It changed my life. And I guarantee you, if you're here and if you turn loose and let the Holy Spirit move, it will change your life.